Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this morning we were introducing the subject matter of Lord Caitanya staying at Jagannath Puri.
今天上午我们讲了在加格纳的普瑞在那里的情况，介绍了这个主题。
We were hearing how different devotees came to stay with Lord Caitanya there.
我们就听到了，就不同的奉献者就从各个地方来到加格纳普瑞和主一起待在那里。
One of the very, very important devotees who came to stay with Lord Caitanya was Swarupa Damodara.
那其中一个非常非常重要的来和主在他那样一起在加格纳普瑞的是 Swarupa Damodar。
Now Swarup Damodar had spent some time with Lord Caitanya in Mayapur before he took sannyas. And after Lord Caitanya left to take sannyas, then Swarupa Damodar, he also left Mayapur and he went to Varanasi to take sannyas.
在主Caitanya当托钵僧之前，Swarupa Damodar曾经和主一起在玛雅普居住了一段时间。后来主Caitanya当了托钵僧，离开了玛雅普，Swarupa Damodar也离开了玛雅普，他去了 Varanasi， 他在那里当了 sannyas。
In Navadvip, he was not known as Swarupa Damodar. At that time his name was Purushottam. But when he went to Varanasi, he got the name Swarupa because he was the servant of a sannyasi.
Navadvip 的时候，他的名字叫 Purushottam。后来他去了 Varanasi 之后，他得到了 Swarup 这个名字，因为他是一位 sannyasi 的仆人。
The name Damodar was given to him by Lord Caitanya because he was very good in singing and music, and he would sing beautiful songs about Lord Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made his name Damodara Swarup, or sometimes Swarup Damodar.
他这个名字是主Caitanya给他起的，因为他擅长于歌唱和乐器，他擅长于歌颂 Krishna， 所以主Caitanya就给他这个名字叫 Damodar Swarup， 有的时候他又被称为 Swarup Damodar。
And sometimes it's said that Swarup Damodar is Vishaka, the Gopi Vishaka, and other times it's said he's the Gopi Lalita. So either way, he's a very, very intimate associate of Lord Caitanya.
说 Swarup Damodar 他原本是 Vishaka， 也有人说他是 Lalita 蒙牛姑娘。无论如何，他是主的一位非常非常亲密的朋友。
Remember Lord Caitanya, he's come in the mood of Radharani. So Radharani's two best friends are Lalita and Vishaka. So Swarup Damodar was one of the very, very best friends of Lord Caitanya.
Caitanya 是以 Radharani 的心态来命名的，所以Radharani 有两个非常非常亲密的闺蜜 Lalita 和 Vishaka， 所以 Swarup Damodar 都是Caitanya 的非常非常好的朋友。
Swarup Damodar would do a number of important services for Lord Caitanya. And one of the services which he would do was that whenever people would come with a book or a song or a poem which they'd written, he would read it first and he would examine it to make sure there was nothing wrong with it.
Swarup Damodar 从事了一件非常重要的服务。无论谁拿着一本新书，或者写了一首歌曲，或者一首诗来给主大家看，Swarup Damodar 都会首先来检查，看看里头有没有错误。
Sometimes people will write these songs or write dramas or things, and the message which they will put in their songs will be the opposite of devotional service. It may have some tinge of Mayavadi philosophy in it. So Swarup Damodar would be very careful to examine it, to make sure there was nothing wrong.
有的人他写了一首歌，或者是写了一戏曲，那么他们的里面包含的信息呢，和奉爱服务恰恰相反。有的里面就包含着假象中的哲学的色彩，所以Swarup Damodar就会小心的检查，看看里面有没有错误。
Sometimes there will be things, there's a technical fault which is called rasa basa, where there's some overlapping of mellows, a mixing of contradictory mellows, and it's not proper in devotional service. So Lord Caitanya would not like that. So Swarup Damodar would look for this.
有的时候里面就有一些错误的技术错误，叫 rasa
Rasa
basa 的意思就是，有的那个情感，是一种关系的重叠，在奉爱服务当中呢，柴丹家不喜欢这种关系的重叠，所以Swarup Damodar就会小心的检查。
Lord Caitanya liked to hear the poems by the great devotees. There were people like Vidyapati and Jayadeva Goswami and Chandidas, and Lord Caitanya liked to read their poems.
主柴丹家喜欢的诗人有 Vidyapati，
Yeah. And Jayadeva Goswami.
Jayadeva Goswami 以及 Chandidas， 他喜欢这几位诗人的诗歌。
Jayadeva Goswami wrote a very famous poem called the Gita Govinda. So Lord Caitanya enjoyed to hear that, and Swarup Damodar would read it to him.
主柴丹家喜欢读Jayadeva Goswami 所写的 Gita Govinda， 然后Swarup Damodar就会读给他听。
Yeah, Swarup Damodar could sing the Gita Govinda. He could sing these different poems, different songs, and Lord Caitanya would feel so happy to hear.
Swarup Damodar 他会把这些诗歌呢唱出来，咏唱出来。柴丹家非常喜欢听。
Sometimes we go to, there's a temple here in Mayapur. There's a temple of Gaur Gadadhar. The deities are Gaur Gadadhar, and it's in a place called. It's in a place called. What's the name of the place again? Champakahati. There's a temple in a village called Champahati, and they have deities of Gaur Gadadhar. So Jayadeva Goswami used to live there.
在玛雅普有一个村子叫昌巴哈提村，在那里有一所庙，是Gaur Gadadhar庙。Jayadeva Goswami以前曾经居住在这个庙里。
And there's one, it's a Gaudiya Mat temple, and there's one brahmachari who stays there. He takes care of the temple, and he can sing the Gita Govinda. He sings the song, very nice.
在这个庙里头呢，是有一个真手僧，他在照顾着这所庙。这位真手僧他会把整部 Gita Govinda 就是唱出来。
Of course, we don't understand the Gita Govinda. It's all Sanskrit, and it's all about the separation which Radharani feels from Krishna.
因为我们不懂梵文，所以这首歌呢是用梵文写的，它的内容是描述着 Radha Krishna 之间的分离之情。
But those who understand Sanskrit, who are great devotees, they will take great pleasure to hear this very nice poem.
是那些懂梵文的伟大奉献者，他们都很津津乐道的来听这首诗歌。
So Swarup Damodar would sing this song and other songs for the pleasure of Lord Chaitanya.
所以Damodar呢，会为了主 Chaitanya 的快乐来咏唱伊特狗温的以及其他的诗歌。
And not only could he sing, but he also knew the philosophy, and he could discuss all the teachings of the different scriptures.
他不仅仅擅长歌唱，他还了解哲学，以及可以讨论不同经典里面的教义。
It said he was just like Brihaspati. Brihaspati is the guru of the demigods. And so when they had any discussion on philosophy, Swarup Damodar would always he would be very prominent because he knew all the philosophy very well.
他就像半神人的祭司 Brihaspati， 那无论什么时候有关于有讨论哲学的时候呢，他们他的谈话呢都是非常显著的，因为他了解哲学的方方面面。
And he was very humble. Nobody even knew how much he knew. He would always be so quiet. He would never speak. You know, he was very quiet. He was absorbed in thinking of Radha and Krishna.
他非常的，尽管他知识渊博，但是他非常谦卑，而且他从来不说话，他总是很安静的，他总是专注于 Radha Krishna。
And so he was a very dear friend of Lord Nityananda and Advaita Acharya, and he was the life and soul of all the devotees.
主尼迦南的主阿对塔都非常喜爱他，他是所有奉献者的生命和灵魂。
So he came to Jagannath Puri and he surrendered to Lord Chaitanya.
他就来到了扎干纳普里，他就臣服了主 Chaitanya。
And when he came before Lord Chaitanya, he recited a beautiful verse. He had composed a verse explaining the position of Lord Chaitanya.
他就来找主 Chaitanya， 他写了一首美丽的诗歌，描述了主 Chaitanya 的地位。
He was describing how Lord Chaitanya is very merciful. He takes away all the inauspiciousness and he takes away all lamentation so that we can become pure devotees.
这首诗歌描述赞扬主 Chaitanya 非常的仁慈，他拿走了一切不吉祥，拿走了一切的悲伤，使人们成为纯粹的奉献者。
The mercy of Lord Chaitanya allows us to experience transcendental bliss and takes away all the idea of material pleasure.
Chaitanya 的仁慈使得人们能够体验到超然的极乐，并且拿走人们物质快乐的想法。
And by Lord Chaitanya's mercy, we're able to settle up all we may have many disagreements and different opinions about the meaning of scriptures, but by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, they'll all be forgotten.
人们可能对经典都有不同的看法和分歧，但是主 Chaitanya 的仁慈使得人们把这些分歧都忘得一干二净。
And the mercy of Lord Chaitanya allows us to experience the transcendental mellows of love for Radha and Krishna.
Chaitanya 的仁慈使得人们就能够体验到对 Radha Krishna 的超然的滋味。
helps us to awaken our real love for Krishna.
帮助我们唤醒对 Krishna 的真实的爱。
So Swarup Damodar prays to Lord Chaitanya and said, may that love also be awakened within my heart by your causeless mercy.
所以如果他们达尔就向凯丹亚祈祷说，愿你的仁慈使得这份爱也可以在我内心被唤醒。
So when he said like that, then Lord Chaitanya picked him up from the ground because he was offering obeisances to Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya picked him up and embraced him, and they both became ecstatic in love, and they both fell unconscious.
所以如果他们达尔呢，他就在向主凯丹亚敬拜，然后在他说完这番话之后呢，主凯丹亚就把他从地上呢给他扶起来，然后他们两个人就拥抱在一起。他们在狂喜的爱当中呢，都失去了知觉。
And then Lord Chaitanya said to Swarup Damodar, he said to him, he said, you know, I had a dream that you were coming. He said, so this is very auspicious. He said, I was just like a blind man, but now you've come. It's like I can see now. I'm able to see.
主柴丹亚对斯瓦鲁克他们达尔说，在你来之前，我做了个梦。就梦见了你来了，是非常吉祥的。我就好像一个盲人，现在你来了，我可以看见了事物。
And Swarup Damodar said to Lord Chaitanya, he said, please forgive me for my offense. He said, because I left your company and I went to Varanasi, so that was a great mistake. I shouldn't have gone there. I should have stayed with you.
所以如果当达尔就请求主凯丹亚对他说，请你忘记我的冒犯，离开了你的陪伴，去了 Varanasi。我不应该犯这个错误，我不应该离开你的陪伴。
He said, I'm a very sinful person. I don't even have any love for your lotus feet. If I did, how could I go away and leave you?
他说，我是一个非常罪恶的人。我对你的莲花族没有一丝一毫的爱。如果我爱您的莲花族，我怎么可能离开您呢？
Yeah, I gave up your company, but you didn't give me up. Your mercy has brought me back. You bound your rope of mercy around my neck, and you brought me back again.
由于你的仁慈，我现在又恢复了生命，又重新焕发了生命。
So then Swarup Damodar turned to Lord Nityananda and he bowed to his lotus feet. Lord Nityananda also embraced him.
接下来斯瓦鲁克达摩达尔又转向尼特南达，又向他行礼。尼特南达随后拥抱了他。
So all the different devotees, all the important people, he would offer his respects to them and they would all bless him.
他就向有不同的奉献者、不同的重要的人物向他们顶礼，然后这些人都反过来祝福了他。
So then Lord Chaitanya arranged a place for Swarup Damodar where he could stay, and he also gave him a servant, and he arranged that he should get nice taken care of, give him water, supply of water, and whatever else he may need.
柴丹亚就安排了他的住处，还给他安排了一个仆人，以及饮用水和他的生活所需。
So then Lord Chaitanya sat with all the devotees and they were discussing the pastimes of Lord Krishna. And at that time, Govinda came.
主柴丹亚和不同的奉献者呢，就开始坐下来讨论 Krishna 的消时光。现在此时 Govinda 进来了。
And Govinda introduces himself. He said, I'm a servant of Ishwarapuri. My name is Govinda. And my spiritual master, Ishwarapuri, he ordered me to come here and to serve you, to serve Lord Chaitanya.
自我介绍说，我是伊莎尔普瑞的仆人，我的名字叫狗温达，我的灵性导师命令我来这里服务Caitanya。
Just before Ishwara Puri, just before my guru left the world, he told me, he said, after I leave the body, you should go to Lord Caitanya and give service to him.
在他离世之前，我的灵性导师伊莎尔普瑞告诉我，他离开躯体之后，让我来服务主 Caitanya。
And another disciple of Ishwara Puri, his name is Kashishwara, he's also going to come, but he's just going to visit the holy places first.
伊莎尔普瑞的另外一位门徒卡西什瓦也会来，但是他首先去到访圣地了。
And so when Lord Chaitanya heard this, he said, oh, my spiritual master, Ishwara Puri, he always gives me the affection just like a father. And because he's my guru, so he's like my father. So he's affectionate to me like my father. And that's why he sent you here to me. That's his mercy on me.
Caitanya 听完这番话就说：“我的灵性导师伊莎尔普瑞，他爱我就像父亲爱孩子一样，因为他像父亲那般慈爱，所以他派你过来到这里来。”
So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was there, and he said to Lord Chaitanya, he said, you know, it's strange, why did Ishwara Puri, who was your guru, why did he keep a servant who came from a Sudra family?
那个时候 Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya 就说：“伊莎尔普瑞，您的灵性导师，他为什么要留一位仆人？他是一个苏者的出身呢？”
So we should understand that because Govinda took initiation, so when he took initiation, he became a brahmana.
我们要明白的一点就是，狗温的他启迪之后呢，他成为了一位婆罗门。
So initially, you know, before his initiation, his family was a Sudra. He was from a Sudra family. But after he took initiation, because he took initiation from Ishwara Puri, so with the initiation, he became a brahmana.
在他启迪之前，他是出身于苏者家庭，但是在启迪之后，因为他得到了伊莎尔普瑞的启迪，结果他就成了一位婆罗门。
So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he didn't understand this, and he was saying, you know, this man Govinda, he's from a Sudra family. How could he become the servant of Ishwara Puri? Ishwara Puri is a brahmana, topmost brahmana. How could he take a servant who's a Sudra?
Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya 他感到有点困惑。狗温呢，他是诞生于苏者家庭，而伊莎尔普瑞他是婆罗门，为什么他要接受一个来自于苏者家庭的人做自己的仆人呢？
So we should understand, Ishwara Puri was an empowered spiritual master. And when he gave him initiation, then he brought him to the transcendental platform.
伊莎尔普瑞是被授权了的灵性导师，当他启迪某人的时候，就把那个人提升到了超然的层面。
Yeah, Ishwara Puri, because he's an empowered spiritual master, so he was authorized by Krishna, and he was authorized by his own guru, that he could accept disciples. And when he accepts them as his disciples, then at that time they become brahmanas.
伊莎尔普瑞他是得到了主昆士那的授权，以及得到了他自己灵性导师的授权， 当他接受一个门徒之后，他就可以把这样门徒提升到婆罗门的层面了。
Because he's an empowered spiritual master, so he has the authority of Lord Krishna, and he's empowered by Lord Krishna to elevate someone from the Sudra platform to bring them to the Brahman platform.
因为他是一位灵性导师，他是经过主 Krishna 授权的，所以他能够把一个 Sudra 提升到婆罗门的层面。
So we should understand the bona fide spiritual master is as good as Krishna. He's the representative of Krishna. And just as Krishna can elevate, bring someone up, the spiritual master can also do the same.
我们需要明白的一点是，一位正宗的灵性导师，就像主 Krishna 一样，他是主 Krishna 的代表。正如主 Krishna 能够将一个人提升，所以灵性导师也可以将一个人提升。
So Lord Caitanya told Sarvabhauma, he said, Krishna and my spiritual master in Ishwarapuri are both independent. Neither the mercy of Krishna nor that of Ishwarapuri is under any rules and regulation of the Vedas. It's transcendental mercy.
Caitanya 就对 Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya 说 ，Krishna 和灵性导师都是独立的。Krishna 和 Ishwarapuri 他们都超越了，他们不受任何规范原则的限制，他们能够给予超然的仁慈。
So Krishna doesn't give his mercy just according to the caste, just according to their position in the society. Krishna gives mercy to anybody who deserves the mercy.
Krishna 和灵性导师，他们不是按照一个人的种姓、社会地位来给予仁慈，他们会把仁慈给予任何一个有资格获得这仁慈的人。
And Lord Caitanya gave an example. He said, just like Vidura was a Sudra, but Krishna went to his home and took lunch there.
Caitanya 就给了一个例子，就像Vidura他是Sudra，但是主 Krishna 就去了他家中，在他家中就餐。
So Lord Krishna's mercy depends only on how much love you have for him.
Krishna 的仁慈就按照一个人对他的爱的程度给予他仁慈。
Lord Krishna has that independence.
Krishna 是独立行事的。
It doesn't just depend on rules and regulations.
它不依赖于任何规则。
Because Vidura was a Sudra by birth.
Vidura 诞生的时候，他的出身是Sudra 的出身。
But Krishna could go to his home and take his food there.
但是主 Krishna 去了他的家中，就在他的家中吃饭。
So the same way Ishwarapuri, he can give mercy to anyone. So he gave mercy to Govinda, although he was from a Sudra family.
Ishwarapuri 他可以把仁慈给予任何人，尽管Govinda出生于Sudra家庭。
Right. In the scriptures it said anybody who is initiated and trained by a bona fide spiritual master can become a brahmana.
经典说，任何人倘若得到一位灵性导师的启迪和训示，他都可以成为一个婆罗门。
So this is the qualification of the bona fide spiritual master.
这是一位正宗灵性导师的资格。
So, when we show love for Krishna, then that will bring happiness greater than any kind of happiness which we get from following the rules and regulations. When we have natural love for Krishna, it will be much greater than just following rules and regulations.
我们爱 Krishna 得到的快乐，会高于从不追随规范原则得到的快乐。
Just like when we chant the holy name, we can experience transcendental bliss.
正如我们唱诵圣名的时候，都能够体验到超然的极乐。
So Caitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Govinda, and then Govinda offered his obeisances unto all the devotees.
Caitanya Mahaprabhu 就拥抱了狗温的，狗温的向所有的奉献者顶礼。
But then Lord Caitanya said to the devotees, he said, this man Govinda, he's my god brother. See, he's a servant of the spiritual master. So he should, I should be respectful to him.
柴丹亚对奉献者们说：“这个人狗温的，他是我的灵性导师的神兄弟。他是。”
And so Lord Caitanya said, it's not really proper that he should come here and serve me, because I'm his god brother, and he was the servant of my spiritual master. But now he wants to come and serve me. It's not really proper.
狗温的是我的灵性导师的辅人，他就是我的神兄弟，他现在来服务我，这是不恰当的。
But at the same time, my spiritual master told him like this. He gave him the order that he should come and serve me. So what should I do?
但是我的灵性导师给予他这个命令，让他来服务我。这种情况下，我该怎么办呢？
So Lord Caitanya it was a dilemma, what to do. He thought, I don't want to go against the order of the spiritual master, but the etiquette seems wrong.
所以主柴丹尼亚就陷入了进退两难的境地，他不能违背灵性导师的训示，但是也不想违背社会习俗。
But then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, the order of the spiritual master is very strong, and you cannot disobey it.
Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya 说，灵性导师的命令是非常强有力的。 你不能违背它。
This is the order of the scriptures.
这是经典的命令。
And then he gave some examples from scriptures. He said just...
他又从经
Yeah?
他又引述了经典的例子。
He said just like Parasuram. Parasuram was ordered by his father to kill his mother.
那么就像阿什让，他得到了他父亲的命令，命令他去要杀掉他的母亲。
Now, Parasuram was, he's born in a Brahmana family. His father was Jamadagni, and the mother was called Renuka. But what happened was Renuka, she went to get water one day, and when she went to get water, she saw the reflection of the sun god in the water, and she thought, oh, the sun god, he's so handsome, he looks so nice, and he's so handsome. So her husband, he understood that his wife was thinking like that. So the husband told the son to kill his mother.
那么事情的经过是这样的，他的父亲，他是让父亲，他是一个婆罗门，他名字叫詹玛达克尼，他的母亲名字叫人木卡。有一天，人木卡就去取水， 但是他在水的倒影当中看到了太阳神的影子，然后他就心里想，他特别相貌特别英俊。那她的丈夫呢，就明白了他妻子的想法，他就让他的儿子杀掉他的母亲。
So the father told the oldest son, he had 3 sons. So father told the oldest son, your mother was unfaithful, unchaste, kill her. But the oldest son, he wouldn't follow the order, he wouldn't do it. So he told the second son to kill it, and he wouldn't do it either. So finally, he told Parashuram, he said, your mother was unfaithful, kill her. And then he said, and kill your 2 brothers also, because they wouldn't follow my order. So Parashuram killed all 3 of them.
他的父亲有3个儿子，然后他首先对他的长子说：“你的妈妈不贞洁，你杀了她。”然后他的大儿子就不听他父亲的命令，他转身又对他的2儿子说：“你杀了你的母亲。”然后他的2儿子也拒绝了，然后他就对他的3个儿子Parashuram说：“你的母亲不忠诚，你也杀掉你的2个哥哥，因为他们不听话。”所以Parashuram就听他父亲话，把他们3人都杀了。
So the father was very pleased to Parashuram. He said, very good. He said, now you can ask any benediction you want. So Parashuram said, all right. He said, please bring back my mother and my 2 brothers to life and don't let them remember anything that happened. So father said, very good. Do it.
他的父亲呢就很高兴，很满意，就对Parashuram说：“现在你可以向我要求祝福。”然后Parashuram就要求，请你让我的母亲和2个哥哥复活，但是不要让他们记住发生的事情。然后他的父亲说：“好，非常好。”
So this is the example about being obedient to the order of the father, Parashuram, that he killed his mother just like she was an enemy.
所以这就是顺从的典范。Parashuram杀掉了他的母亲，就好像他母亲是敌人一样。
And the same way, when Lakshman went into the forest with Lord Ramachandra and his wife Sita, Lakshman was the servant of Lord Ram. He was always, wherever Lord Rama, whatever happened, Lakshman was always there to serve Lord Rama.
另外一个例子就是，当 Lakshman 呢，他和主 Rama Sita 一起去森林的时候呢，他就像 Rama 的仆人一样，他服务 Rama。
Yeah, Lord Rama's the elder brother, Lakshman's the younger brother. So it's the duty of the younger brother to serve the older brother.
Rama 是哥哥 ，Lakshman 呢是弟弟，所以作为弟弟就应该有责任、有义务服务哥哥。
In the same way, it's the duty of the disciple to serve the order of the spiritual master.
同样，都有职责、有义务来服务服从灵性导师。
And we should do it without considering. We shouldn't consider, oh, is this good or is this bad? We should just take the order faithfully and do what the spiritual teacher tells us.
我们不要考虑他这个命令是好的还是坏的，我们就应该不加思索的接受灵部的命令去执行。
And when we do it like that, then it's very good for us. It will be very good for our spiritual advancement.
如果我们这么去做的话，这对我们的灵性进步是非常有好处的。
So Lord Caitanya accepted Govinda as his servant and embraced him. And everyone respected Govinda as a very dear servant of Lord Caitanya.
Caitanya 就这样接受Govinda为他的仆人，并且拥抱了他，所以每个人都把Govinda当作主Caitanya的亲密仆人加以尊敬。
So many of the devotees, they all used to stay with Govinda, and Govinda used to serve all the devotees. Of course, he used to serve Lord Caitanya, and then he would also serve the devotees.
Govinda 他不仅 服务主Caitanya，他也服务所有的奉献者。
Then another person came to Mayapur, came to Jagannath Puri, and this person was he was the godbrother of the guru of Lord Chaitanya. His name was Brahmananda Bharati.
又有另外一个人来到扎格纳普瑞，他是Caitanya灵性导师的神兄弟，他的名字叫 Brahmananda Puri。
Brahmananda Bharati.
Brahmananda Bharati.
Right. So when Lord Chaitanya heard this, then he was very pleased. He said, "Oh," he said, he is just like my spiritual master."
Caitanya 听到这个消息之后，非常的高兴。他说：“他就像我的灵性导师一样。”
So the devotee said, "Should I bring him here to meet you?" But Lord Chaitanya said, "No, he's my guru." He said, "I should go to see him."
奉献者就问主Caitanya：“我们是不是应该带他来见你呢？”主Caitanya说：“不，他就像我的灵性导师一样，我应该前去探望他。”
So Lord Chaitanya went with all the devotees and they went to see Brahmananda Bharati. But when they saw him, Lord Chaitanya was not very happy when he saw him, because he saw that he was dressed with a deer skin. He's covered his body with a deer skin.
Caitanya 就带领了全体的奉献者去见Brahmananda Bharati。但是当他见到他的时候，主Caitanya并不高兴，因为 Brahmananda Bharati 身穿鹿皮。
Yeah, sometimes people, when they renounce the world, they will cover their body with a deer skin, or sometimes they cover the body with the bark of a tree.
当某人弃绝世界的时候，他有时候会身穿鹿皮，或者身上裹着树皮。
So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he did not like to see this devotee wearing a deer skin, because one reason is people become very proud when they wear the deer skin.
Caitanya Mahaprabhu 不喜欢见到奉献者穿鹿皮，一个原因是，奉献者穿了鹿皮以后就会变得有点骄傲自满了。
So when Lord Chaitanya went to see Brahmananda Bharati, he pretended he didn't see him. And he said, where is Brahmananda Bharati? Where is he? I don't see him anywhere.
去见 Brahmananda Bharati， 他假装没有看见他，他就说 Brahmananda Bharati 在哪儿？我没有看见他呀。
So then devotee said, "No," he said, "Here, this is Brahmananda Bharati. He's right here in front of you." But Lord Chaitanya said, "No, you're not right. This is not Brahmananda Bharati. You must be talking of somebody else. Because Brahmananda Bharati, he wouldn't wear a deer skin."
奉献者就对主Caitanya说：“不，这里站在你面前的就是 Brahmananda Bharati。” 主Caitanya说：“不对，这位不是 Brahmananda Bharati， 肯定是别的人。Brahmananda Bharati 不会身穿鹿皮的。”
So when Brahmananda Bharati heard this, he could understand that Lord Chaitanya did not like him to wear a deer skin.
Brahmananda Bharati 听了这番话之后，心里明白Caitanya不喜欢他穿鹿皮。
So then Brahmananda Bharati thought to himself, and he thought, actually Lord Chaitanya is right. I only put on this deer skin for my own prestige, for my own pride. I cannot get over the Maya simply by wearing a deer skin.
Brahmananda Bharati 心里想，主 主柴丹尼亚说的是对的，我穿肚皮只是为了自己的虚荣心和为了自己的骄傲，我无法靠穿肚皮来征服玛雅幻象。
So he vowed, he said, from today on, I'm not going to wear this deer skin.
他就赶紧顶拜，说道：“从今往后，我不会再穿这件鹿皮了。”
So Lord Caitanya was very happy when he heard this, and Lord Caitanya immediately arranged for him to get the dress, the saffron dress of the sannyasi. And somebody went and they brought a set of cloth to give to Brahmananda Bharati, and he put on the dress of a sannyasi.
柴丹尼亚非常高兴听到他这番话，他立刻安排人去买了一套 sannyasi 托钵僧的橙色衣服，然后给 Brahmananda Bharati。
And when Lord Caitanya saw him in the sannyasi dress, then Lord Caitanya came and offered obeisances and fell down at his lotus feet.
当主柴丹尼亚看见 Brahmananda Bharati 身穿 sannyasi 托钵僧的衣服的时候，他就过来礼拜了他的莲花足。
And so Brahmananda Bharati said that, he said, I'm very afraid that you would neglect me. He said, I don't want to do anything against your wishes. I know if I don't please you, then you will just neglect me. You'll pretend you don't know me.
Brahmananda Bharati 就说：“我非常害怕你不理睬我。如果我不想去违背您的愿望，如果我不取悦您，那您就会不理睬我，假装不认识我。”
So your instructions, your behavior are very important for us.
你的教导对我们来说是非常重要的。
So then Brahmananda Bharati began to speak. He said, I can see two Brahmans. One Brahman is Lord Jagannath, and the other Brahman is you, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu.
接着 Brahmananda Bharati 说道：“我知道有两位 Brahman， 一位是主加格纳，另一位 Brahman 就是您Caitanya Mahaprabhu。”
In the form of Lord Jagannath, you don't move. But in the form of Caitanya Mahaprabhu, you're moving.
那以主加格纳的形体呢？你是不动的，但是你以你自己的 Caitanya Mahaprabhu 的形体呢？你可以到处移动。
Lord Jagannath is a deity, so he is a Brahman, but he's not moving.
加格纳特是神仙啊，他是慢，但是他不会动，不会移动，他不去移动。
And you are Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. You're moving here and there, but you're Brahman also. You and Lord Jagannath, you're both the same Brahman.
但是您以Caitanya Mahaprabhu 的形体，您到处移动，您也是 Brahman， 您和主加格纳的一样，都是 Brahman。
In one form you're moving, and the other form you're not moving.
在一个形体当中，您不去移动，但是在另一个形体当中呢，您到处走动。
So now there are two Brahmans. Both of you are both living here at Jagannath Puri.
有2位 Brahman， 这2位 Brahman 现在都居住在 Jagannath Puri。
And one of in the form of Lord Jagannath, you're black, but in your form, as Caitanya Mahaprabhu, you're very fair.
以主 Jagannath 他是黑色的形体，但是您作为 Caitanya Mahaprabhu 的形体，您是肤色金黄。
He said, but both of you are delivering the whole world.
你们2个人都拯救了全世界。
So Lord Chaitanya then replied, he said, actually, to tell you the truth, he said, because of your presence, there are now...
Caitanya 就回答说，跟您说实话吧，就是因为您在这里，所以现在在加拿大的夫人就有了2位 Brahman。
Lord Chaitanya said, he said, you're Brahmananda, and I'm Gaurahari, we're both moving. And Lord Jagannath is sitting, he's not moving, he's sitting tight and not moving.
那你是 Brahmananda， 那我是 Gaurahari， 我们2个人呢？ 我们2个人都是会走动的，但是主加格纳特他就坐在那里，他一动不动，文思一动不动，安坐在那里。
So Brahmananda Bharati, he was trying to show that there's no difference between Krishna and the living entity.
Brahmananda Bharati 他试图在努力的表明。 Krishna 和生物体2者呢是没有区分的。
But Lord Chaitanya, he wanted to prove that he and Brahmananda Bharati were both jivas, and that although they were jivas, they're both Brahman.
主 Chaitanya 想证实，他本人和 Brahmananda Bharati 他们都是个体灵魂 jiva， 他们。 都是 Brahman。
他们都是 Brahman.
He and Brahmananda Bharati, they are both jivas.
They're both Brahman.
那他们2个都是个体灵魂，他们的身份都是 Brahman。
And there's one supreme Brahman, Lord Jagannath.
除此之外，还有一位至尊梵，这位至尊梵就是。
So Brahmananda, he wanted to say that Jagannath and Caitanya Mahaprabhu are the same, that they're both the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Brahmananda Bharati 想要说明的是，主 Jagannath 和 Caitanya Mahaprabhu 是同一个人，他们是一样的，都是至尊性和神手。
But Lord Chaitanya appears to be moving, and Jagannath's not moving.
但是从外在上看，主 Chaitanya 好像是能够四处走动，但是主 Jagannath 他是在那里是一动不动的。
So they were having a little discussion, argument here. So Brahmananda Bharati asked Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya to arbitrate, to give the final decision.
他们2个人就展开了小小的讨论，并且有了争执。最后 Brahmananda Bharati 就请求 Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya 做一个仲裁，来给出最后的裁决。
He said we need somebody to mediate, to make a decision who's right.
他说我们需要一个人来做一个调解， 到底谁说的是正确的？
And then Brahmananda says, he says the living entity is in one place, is localized, but the Supreme Brahman is everywhere, all pervading. That's what the scriptures say.
Brahmananda 说，生物体它们是处在一个地方的，它们是区域化的，但是至尊的梵，它们是遍存万有，无所不在的，这是经典的论断。
Yeah, we know that Krishna in the form of Paramatma is everywhere.
我们知道 Krishna 以超灵的形象无所不在，
He's within the universe, he's within all the elements, and he's even within the atom.
它在整个宇宙当中，它也存在于每一个元素当中，它甚至在每一个原子当中。
But the living entity is very small, and he's just in one place.
而个体生物是非常微不足道、渺小的，它们只能在一个地方。
So, Brahmananda Bharati, he says, Lord Caitanya, he purified me by getting me to stop wearing the deerskin.
他们南的巴尔提说，主凯丹尼亚通过就是阻止我穿鹿皮，以这种方式，他净化了我。
This is a proof that he is all-pervasive, that he must be everywhere, he must be all-powerful. And I am definitely under him. I'm not equal to him.
这就证明了他是遍存万有的，他是最有力量的人物，而我是在他之下的，我跟他不能平起平坐，我跟他不在同一个层面上。
So this is actually correct, that Krishna is the Supreme Brahman and the living entities are his tiny parts and parcels.
实际上，这个看法是正确的。Krishna 是至尊梵，而生物体是非常渺小的，是 Krishna 的所属部分。
Yeah, they're both persons, but the Supreme Brahman is the predominator and the living entity is predominated. Or the Supreme Brahman is the master and the living entities are the servants.
他们二者呢，他们都是人，他们都是人，但是至尊梵是主宰者，而个体灵魂呢是被主宰者。至尊梵是仆人，个体灵魂是仆人。
Then Brahmananda quotes a verse from the Vishnu Sahasranam, from the Mahabharata, describing about the appearance of the Lord.
接下来 ，Brahmananda 又引述了Mahabharata 当中的 Vishnu Sahasra， 就是 Vishnu 的1000个名字，来形容主的显现。
Suvarna varna hemango varnangas chandranaganti sanyasa krichchana santo nishdashanti parayanaha. So this is the verse. It describes Lord Caitanya. It says he has a beautiful body, a golden colored body, and every part of his body is very beautiful and constructed very nicely.
这个诗节就形容了主凯丹亚，描述了他的形象，他肤色金黄，相貌英俊，他的四肢都美丽优雅。
So he takes the renounced order of life, and he's always peaceful.
他接受了生命的气绝阶层，他总是内心平和。
He's always chanting the Hare Krishna mantra.
他
And
时时刻刻唱诵 Hare Krishna 曼陀罗。
his His arms are all decorated with sandalwood pulp.
他的双臂点缀着檀香浆。
And he wears the thread from the deities of Lord Jagannath around his chest.
他胸膛佩戴着一根主扎格纳特佩戴过的圣线。
So when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya heard this, he said, yes, he said, I think Brahmananda is the winner. I think he has defeated Lord Chaitanya.
所以 Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya 跟我说是的，我认为 Ramananda 他赢了，他打败了，他战胜了Chaitanya.
And Lord Chaitanya said, yes, he said, it's all right with me. He said, because he said, Brahmananda, he's like my spiritual master. He's the godbrother of my initiating spiritual master. So I accept him also to be like my guru. So the guru is always right over the disciple. The disciple should always accept the opinion of the guru.
Chaitanya 就连声答应说是的，是最正确的。Ramananda 就好像我的灵性导师，因为他是我的灵性导师的启迪灵性导师的神经体，对于我来说，他就好像是我的guru一样。无论guru说什么，门徒都应该加以接受。
So Brahmananda said, well, this is not the real reason for your defeat. They said, no, there's another reason.
Ramananda 说，这可不是你被变败的真正的原因，还有别的原因。
Yeah, and Brahmananda he said, Krishna always likes to be defeated by his devotees.
那另外一个原因就是 Krishna 总是喜欢被他的奉献者所打败。
And Brahmananda said, he described, he said, he said, since my birth I was always meditating on the impersonal Brahman. But since I've seen you, now I'm experiencing Krishna.
Brahmananda 说，我从出生起就开始冥想非人格的饭了，但是自从我见到你之后，我就对 Krishna 有了亲身的一手的体验。
So Brahmananda was describing how Krishna likes to be defeated by his disciples, by his devotees.
Ramananda 描述说 ，Krishna 就喜欢被他的奉献者所击败。
And there's an example how Krishna promised he wasn't going to fight in the battle of Kurukshetra. But when Arjuna's life was in danger and Bhishma was coming to kill Arjuna, then Krishna picked up the chariot wheel and he rushed towards grandfather Bhishma. So he broke his promise to save the life of Arjuna.
这就有一个例子来证明，因为 Krishna 曾经答应过，他不会在库鲁铁战役当中作战，但是当Arjuna 生命垂危的时候，老祖父 Bhishma 马上就要杀死Arjuna 的时候 ，Krishna 就从地上捡起一个车轮，就冲过去要杀死老祖父 Bhishma。这样挽救了Arjuna的性命。
So Krishna did this to show that his devotee, that Krishna can break his own promise just to protect his devotee.
Krishna 的这个举动就表明，为了保护他自己的奉献者。他甚至可以打破自己的诺言。
So in this way, Brahmananda, he's arguing that I know that Lord Chaitanya is actually Krishna himself, and he's the supreme Brahman. And Brahmananda said, I'm just a devotee.
Brahmananda 争论，给出了论点，就是证明Caitanya 就是 Krishna 本人，是至尊的 Brahman， 而我只是奉献者而已。
And Brahmananda says, he said, ever since I seen you, I'm feeling Krishna in the presence of Krishna in my mind, and it's like I'm seeing him with my eyes, and I want to chant his name.
Brahmananda 就说，自从我看见你了之后，那我就在心意里总是能看见 Krishna。现在呢，就好像我在亲眼目睹 Krishna 一样，而且我也开始唱诵他的名字了。
So Lord Brahmananda said, I can understand that you are Krishna himself, and I want to serve you.
就这样 ，Brahmananda 他就明白，他就说，我就明白了，你就是 Krishna 本人，我想服务你。
Just like Krishnadas, just like Bhuvamangal Thakur, he was an impersonalist, but he somehow he became a devotee and he gave up all his impersonalism.
Bhuvamangal Thakur 他以前就曾经一度是非人格主义者，但是他成为奉献者之后，就放弃了非人格的思想。
So Brahmananda said, my condition is like him. I'm also changed. I was an impersonalist before, now I've become a devotee.
Brahmananda 说，我的情形呢，就跟Bhuvamangal Thakur一样，我从一个非奉献者转变成了一个奉献者。
He said, I was initiated into the yoga system, and I was on the path of impersonalism, but now I've become a devotee, and I want to follow in the mood of the gopis.
Brahmananda 说，我以前得到了启迪，来修习瑜伽体系，我进一步又追随非人格的道路。现在我已经成为了我变成了奉献者，我想追随那些牧牛姑娘的心态。
He said this is due to the tricks, just like Krishna tricked the gopis. Krishna's very cunning, tricked the gopis. And so he said in the same way, he said, you've tricked me into becoming a devotee.
就像Krishna 他是非常狡猾的，他对待那些姑娘采取了狡猾的方式。同样的，你也以狡猾的方式把我变成了奉献者了。
And Lord Chaitanya said to him, I know you have a deep love for Krishna for a long time, and you're wherever you turn your eyes, you simply become more Krishna conscious.
Caitanya 说，我知道你长期以来深爱 Krishna， 无论你看向何方，你的 Krishna 直觉就更进一步的加深了。
So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, actually you're both right. I have to accept both of your conclusions.
Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya 说，实际上你们两个人说的都对，我必须得接受你们两个人的结论了。
Without having love for Krishna, you cannot see Krishna anywhere.
如果没有对 Krishna 的爱的话，你是不可能无处不见到 Krishna 的。
So by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, Brahmananda Bharati has been able to see Krishna.
依着主 Caitanya 的仁慈 ，Brahmananda Bharati 可以处处都得以见到 Krishna。
But when Sarvabhauma said this, Lord Chaitanya got upset. He said, What? What are you saying? Don't say things like this. This is a blasphemy. I'm not Krishna. I'm not I'm not the God, I'm not the Supreme God, I'm simply devotee, I'm trying to be devotee.
当萨拉波玛说完这番话，柴丹尼亚就变得忐忑不安起来，他就呼呼道：“什么？你不要这样说，这是亵渎啊！我不是 Krishna， 我不是神，我不是至尊主，我只是努力的在做奉献者而已。”
And if somebody glorifies you more than is actually your position, then this is another kind of offense. This is not good. This is a blasphemy.
当有人在荣耀你的地位的时候，这实际上是一个冒犯，是一个亵渎。
Okay, we will stop here. We'll ask if there's any questions.
Yes, there is one question. Vedavati, Hare Krishna, 顶拜Guru，感恩您。Guru 解释一下关于您讲到的关系重叠。Vedavati, Devdas said, Hare Krishna, obeisance Gurudev. Can you explain that the rasa bas? Can you explain a little bit about this?
Rasa basa.
Rasa bas. Yeah, rasa basa.
Yes. Well, it's a mixing. It's very complicated. It's not very easy thing to explain. But the idea is that we may think of Krishna. We may think of the living entity to be like Krishna, and we may try to put the living entity on the same level as Krishna. And whatever we think for Krishna, we give to the living entity.
这个主题呢，就是很复杂，解释起来不太容易。但是简而言之，要点就是，就是把 Krishna 把生物体想的就跟 Krishna 一样，无论什么想起 Krishna， 就认为 Krishna 就是把生物呢想的就像 Krishna 一样，把生物体放在跟 Krishna 同一个层面上，然后无论给 Krishna 什么呢，就也给生物体什么样的事物。
There's an example, there's one man, it's told in the Caitanya Caritamrta how one man came there to Jagannath Puri and he'd written a poem about Lord Jagannath and about Lord Caitanya. And so Swarup Damodar heard the poem, and so when he read it, then he asked the Brahmana about it.
有一个例子，就是有一位男子就来到扎加纳普里来见主凯特亚，他写了一首有关于扎加纳的诗歌，然后所以如果达摩达尔就读了这首诗歌。
And when he asked the Brahmana about it, then he said, yeah, you've committed a great offense. He said, because you have described Lord Jagannath to be made of wood. You have described the body of Lord Jagannath to be material, to be matter. He said, this is a great offense.
所以如果达摩达尔就对这位写了诗歌的朋友们说道，你做了一个冒犯，你形容扎加纳的是物质的，他的身体是物质的，这是做了一个冒犯。
He said, the body of the Supreme Lord is not material, it's Satchit Ananda.
尊主的身体并非物质的，它是Satchidananda永恒之事和极乐的。
So if you describe the body of the Supreme Lord to be made of wood, then this is an offense.
如果你描述尊主的身体是物质的，那么这是一个冒犯。
So this is one simple example, rasa basa.
这个就是 rasa basa 的一个简单的例子。
If we make the body of the Lord, compare the body of the Lord, we describe the body of the Lord to be material, then this is an offense.
如果我们形容主的身体是物质的，那么这个就是一个冒犯。
Yeah, we say Acharya Vishnu Shiladir Narashu Vaishnave Jati Buddhi. It's a great offense to think of the body of the deity to be made of wood or stone or material elements. The body of the deity is transcendental.
这个世节的意思就是说，如果把神像的身体就描述为是用木头、石头、物质元素制造的，那么这个是一个冒犯，因为神像的身体是超然的身体。
Yes? Is there any other question?
Yes. 下一个问题是Yuna. Hare Krishna Gurumar, please accept a humble obeisance. How do we gain confidence in Krishna's mercy? Because we often see his mercy for others and do not see it for ourselves. Yuna 就问说 Hare Krishna Gurumar, 请接受我卑微顶拜。我们怎么能对 Krishna 的仁慈满怀信心呢？因为有时候我们常常看到 Krishna 给别人仁慈，但是我们并没有看到在我们自己身上有 Krishna 的仁慈。
Well, we have to see everything as Krishna's mercy. Sometimes Krishna gives, that's mercy, and sometimes Krishna takes. We should think that is also mercy.
我们应该把一切都视作是 Krishna 的仁慈。当 Krishna 给予的时候，这是一份仁慈；当 Krishna 拿走的时候，这是另外一种仁慈。
We're made of the mercy of the spiritual master.
我们本身就是由灵性导师的仁慈所造就的。
So a devotee always thinks like this, that everything, whatever happens, it's the mercy of Krishna and my spiritual master to help me to advance in Krishna consciousness.
那佛先生应该这样想：无论我身上发生什么事情，都是 Krishna 和灵性导师的仁慈，都是在帮助我在 Krishna 直觉当中取得进步。
So sometimes, of course, the mercy may come in the form which we didn't want it, but we should think that this is what Krishna wants to give me. We have to accept it as mercy.
有的时候呢 ，Krishna 的仁慈是以我们不想要的形式来的，但是呢，我们应当这样想 ，Krishna 想要给我们这种仁慈，所以我们必须得接受这份仁慈。
So devotee has to have that vision to always see the hand of Krishna and the hand of the spiritual master in everything.
奉献者们应该有这样的视域，他们应该看到在一切万事万物当中看到 Krishna 的手和Guru 灵性导师的手操纵着一切。
We have to learn to take advantage of the mercy. We have to take advantage of the mercy so that it will help us to become more attached to Krishna and spiritual master.
我们要学习善加利用这份仁慈，帮助我们能够更加依附于 Krishna， 依附于灵性导师。
Okay. Is there any other question?
Yes， 下一个是 Sati， 明白孤儿的莲花族。阿什让们因为对父亲的全然了解、全然信心，才做到全然服。前些时间，有奉献者给我看了一位佛教高僧堕落的资料，里面就有关于这位有上万追随弟子的师傅，有修习和提升名义亵渎侵犯女子，最终被曝光而堕落。所以这名奉献者就对灵性导师全然服从，不能质疑。这种做法提出了疑问： 我们应该如何对待这种情况呢？ since Sati said, this accept my humble basis to your lotus feet. Parashurama became completely obedient to his father because he knew his father and he had a true faith to his father. Previously, one devotee showed me a material about a Buddhist monk, high-level Buddhist monk. He had 10,000 followers, but he had do he had done something wrong to the female disciple, and finally became known to the public, and he fell down. Therefore, this devotee raised some question about why we should become completely surrendered to our spiritual master. So my question is that what to do with this kind of situation?
Well, you have to consider everything in terms of the time and the place and the circumstances.
那么一切都应该按照时间、地点和情况，就是按照时间、地点、情况来考虑每一件事情。
Yeah, somebody is the spiritual master, and so we accept him as the spiritual master, and he may be doing very nicely, and so there's no problem. But then if there's some spiritual difficulty, if he gets in difficulty, does something wrong with women or something, then you have to understand that he's not very well situated, that he's not proper as a spiritual master.
就是灵性导师呢，如果一个人他是灵性导师的话，我们应该接受他。如果这个灵性导师他做得好的话，那么他没问题。但是如果这位灵性导师呢，他遇到生活当中的困难，尤其是在女色方面遇到困难的话，那么我们就应该明白，这位灵导师他的处境呢，不是非常的恰如其分的，他的地位呢，并不是很恰当的。
We shouldn't think that because he was not qualified as the spiritual master, therefore nobody can be qualified. That is not proper.
我们不要想，就是仅仅是因为这位高僧他没有资格的话，每个人都没有资格，这样就想就不对了，就代表别人没有资格。
Just like you may be looking for gold and you get some imitation gold. So it doesn't mean all gold is imitation gold. There is real gold and there's also imitation gold.
就像有真的金子和假金子，有假的金子不代表所有的金子都是假的，有真的也有假的。
So in the same way, there's real spiritual masters and there's persons who are not real spiritual masters.
同样的，像金子有真有假，灵导师有真的灵导师，也有假的。
So they have to look again and find somebody who's properly qualified. That's a spiritual teacher.
所以就是这个门徒呢，他应该再次寻找到一位合格的灵性老师。
So you can answer them like that.
你可以这样解答他的疑惑。
That person was not qualified, but that does not mean that nobody is qualified.
那么这名高僧对高僧他没有资格，并不代表别人也没有资格。
Hare Krishna, Good day.
Yeah.
那么就是因为 有时候门徒对灵性导师的这种了解不是很深入，所以说不太容易。他的意思就是说，我们不太容易能够真正的了解一位灵性导师，就是说在选择什么是真正的灵性导师和假的灵性导师上不太容易分辨，这一点怎么能做到呢？
Well, we say in ISKCON at least, first of all, you accept shelter of Srila Prabhupada. Take Prabhupada to be your spiritual teacher. He's the Shiksha Guru for all the devotees in ISKCON.
在 ISKCON 当中，就是每个加入 ISKCON 的，他们首先托庇于帕布帕德。帕布帕德，Srila Prabhupada 是 ISKCON 所有成员的训示灵性导师。
Now, when we take initiation in ISKCON, you should understand the actual connection is actually not just simply with the Guru, but you're becoming a member of ISKCON.
那么在 ISKCON 当中获得启迪，并不仅仅就是意味着你跟一个灵性导师真正的连接起来了，还有另外一个含义就是你已经成为了ISKCON 的一个正式的成员。
So the connection with the spiritual master, we see in ISKCON there are many spiritual masters, and you can consider all of them as your spiritual teachers.
那么，当一个人和一个灵性导师有了连接之后，可以在 ISKCON 当中有许许多多的灵性导师，可以把所有这些灵性导师都看成是自己的灵性导师。
And if you feel that the person who you took initiation from is not fully satisfying your demands, that you want more, then you're always allowed to go to other people and take instruction.
如果他感觉他对启迪他的这位 guru 感到不满意，没有满足他的要求的话，那么他可以允许他就是去找别的灵性导师，从别的灵性导师那里得到训示。
We're encouraged to go and hear from other spiritual teachers.
他被鼓励着去从别的灵性导师那里去聆听他们的教诲。
And the purpose of their instruction is to help us to develop a stronger connection to the disciplic succession.
从别的领导师那得到训示的目的，是为了发展和使徒传系的一种连接。
Because it's the disciplic succession which will take us back to Godhead.
因为正是使徒传系把我们带回神手那里。
So you may feel, we don't encourage devotees to put all their faith into one person. That is the point.
所以要点就是，并不鼓励奉献者把全部的信心都放在一个人身上。
Because if that one person has problems, then your faith also has problems.
如果这一个人出了问题，那么这个人的信心就会动摇了。
We've had experience like that in ISKCON.
我们亲眼看到这种情况，在 ISKCON 当中出现过这种。
The guru had some problems, spiritual problem, and when he had problems, then all of his disciples, they all left ISKCON, or they all gave up Krishna consciousness.
他们的 guru 出了灵性上的问题，那么这位 guru 的门徒全部都离开了 ISKCON，都放弃了 Krishna 自觉了。
So it's important that we put our faith firmly in Srila Prabhupada, and also we should have several Shiksha gurus as well as our Diksha guru.
我们要对 是了帕的满怀信心，我们可以有几位训示咕噜，除了我们自己的启迪咕噜外，我们可以有几位训示咕噜。
So you see that those Buddhist people, they had all their faith on one person, and the one person got problems, and then all of the disciples, they all got problems.
那么我看到佛教当中呢，这些佛弟子他们对一个人就满怀信心，结果这位大师出了问题之后，他的门徒也都遇到了问题了。
So you see how dangerous it is if you have faith on just one person.
所以你可以看到，信心都放在一个人身上的危险。
So in ISKCON, we don't encourage like that. We say, you don't just put your faith in one guru. You have to have also shiksha gurus. And the purpose of the gurus is to connect you to Prabhupada and to the disciplic succession.
所以在 ISKCON 当中呢，我们就鼓励人们不要把所有的全部的信心都放在一位咕噜身上，他可以有几位训示咕噜。那么接受咕噜的目的是跟圣帕巴德和使徒传系紧密的联系在一起。
And even if all the gurus and shiksha gurus, if they all have problems, you still have the disciplic succession. You still have a connection to the disciplic succession.
即便所有的训示咕都出问题了，那么这个成员他仍然跟使徒传系和使徒传系有着联系。
You understand, Sati?
是的，是的，谢谢 Gurudeva 的精彩回答。我们后面还有3个问题，
好，
因为这个时间，您可以吗？
可以，我有时间，可以。
我不知道这个安排的北京那边是不是需要这样，就是咕噜有时间把后面的问题回答，然后如果北京现场那边如果还有其他节目安排呢，那就可以去安排其他的内容，好吧？
好。
OK。
接着回答吗？
对，是的，是的。
下一个是 Radhika Priya。Hare Krishna， 顶拜 Guru Maharaj， 感谢主持。如 Caitanya 因为 Brahmananda Bharati 翻怒敌而忽视他，不胜他，后来又说 Brahmananda Bharati 是他的灵命导师，应当完全尊重。怎么理解前后看似矛盾的原则呢？Radhika Priya said, Brahmananda Bharati, because he wears their skin, and Lord Chaitanya ignored him and corrected him. But later on, it is said that Brahmananda Bharati is his spiritual master and should be given complete respect. So how to understand this apparently contradictory principle?
Yes, well, Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Lord. So when Lord Chaitanya did not recognize him, that was Lord Chaitanya taking the position of the Supreme Lord, because he wants to instruct Brahmananda Bharati in the proper behavior.
当主 Chaitanya 就假装不认识Brahmananda Bharati 的时候呢，他那时候的地位，他是处在至尊主的地位上，他想要训示，以这种方式教导 Brahmananda Bharati，什么是正确的行为。
And Brahmananda Bharati also understood that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the Supreme Lord. That's why he could accept the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Brahmananda Bharati 他也能够，他心里有明白 Chaitanya 是尊主，所以他就对接受 Chaitanya 的训示心服口服。
But externally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the disciple of Ishvara Puri, and Ishvara Puri is a godbrother of Brahmananda Bharati. So Brahmananda Bharati is like on the level of his spiritual master. So that's externally, according to Lord Chaitanya, playing the position of a disciple, as disciple of Ishvara Puri.
那在外在的看呢，海天教马哈布他是伊舍尔布里的门徒，而伊舍尔布里和 Ramananda Bharati 两个人是神兄弟，所以他就处在彩天教的领导师的层面上，这是一种外在的表象。然后当彩天教呢，他因为他扮演的是伊舍尔布里的这个门徒的角色。
So Lord Chaitanya was playing two different parts.
所以主彩天教他实际上扮演了两个角色，就在这件事情当中。
When he gives instruction, he was instructing as the Supreme Lord.
所以当他给予训示的时候呢，他是以尊主的地位和角色在给予训示。
Okay, yeah.
好，下一个问题是 Shruti Rupa。Three question 帮 Shruti Rupa。Hare Krishna 顶拜老师 Guru， 请教两个问题。我最近学习中发现自己在和人相处时，愿意接受力所能及的服务，尽可能作为观察者，提醒自己减少评判，做好服务，但心里不愿意虚情假意。和任何人浪费时间聊世俗话题，请问顾，这是不是灵性修学中必须经历的过程，还是我的心变得冷漠和坚硬了呢？ The first question is that Hare Krishna, recently I found that when I deal with the others, I would like to accept the service that is within my own capacity. I try to remind myself to reduce judgment and only as an observer to do my service well. But in my heart, I do not want to waste time to talk nonsense, mundane topics with the others. Where in hypocrisy, talk mundane topics. So, Guru, is this the procedure that I must experience during the spiritual practice, or does it mean that my heart has become very cold and very hard?
Well, you have to consider more carefully about why your mood is like that. If your intention is to just simply be more absorbed in Krishna, then it's all right. It's not wrong.
那你应该小心地审视一下自己的心态。如果你的动机是更加专注于 Krishna 的话，那没什么问题。
But if you feel any critical, if you feel if you're looking down on the other people and you're not appreciating them and you're disrespecting them, then it's not good.
但是如果你是有一种批评的心态，就是你瞧不起别人，也不欣赏别人，不尊重别人的话，就不对了，就不好了。
You may like to accept the association of other devotees and try to always keep them in Krishna consciousness. By your association, if you're very expert, then you can keep them always in Krishna consciousness.
那么如果你喜欢接受奉献者的联谊，就是通过你自己的联谊，你可以让别人也处在 Krishna 知觉当中。
You can help to remind them about Krishna.
你可以帮助提醒别人，让别人能够想起 Krishna。
One of the things which we learn from the scriptures is that Krishna is everywhere and Krishna is in everything. Therefore, remembrance of Krishna can come all the time, in every circumstance.
经典里就说了 ，Krishna 是无处不在的，他在万事万物当中。所以呢，就是这个万事万物不能让我们想起 Krishna， 无论我们的处境是什么。
So it is said sometimes the pure devotee speaks and sometimes he is silent. He is not obliged. You may feel like speaking sometimes and sometimes you may not. It's up to you.
据说呢，有的时候奉献者、纯粹奉献者，他们开口说话；有的时候纯粹奉献者又缄默不语，所以并不是他必须要说话。所以你可以选择有的时候开口说话，或者有时候缄默不语。
Yes, next question.
下一个，我曾经读到公主年轻时曾经负责管理庙宇的财务的故事，但实际情况是1分钱都没有。请问公主，您在人生的各个阶段是怎样应对财务紧缺或丰盛的情况？对于像我这样作为普通知识的放爱学生，在金钱关系与财务的应用中，如何把一切灵性化？有什么训示呢？ I read that Guru, when you are young, you have taken charge of the treasury of the temple. But
The what? In charge of what?
Treasure, the money of the temple.
Oh.
But in fact, there's no money. So my question is that in every period of your life, how do you deal with the situation, whether there are plenty of money or there are lack of money? Because as for myself, as ordinary Grihastha devotional disciple, how can I, as far as money is concerned, how can I spiritualize everything? Do you have any instruction?
Well, we have to understand everything belongs to Krishna. All the money is there. It's meant to be spent for Krishna.
我们要明白一切属于 Krishna， 所有的钱都应该花在 Krishna 身上。
And Prabhupada said we may make a lot of money and we spend it all for Krishna. I said no harm.
这个 Prabhupada 曾经说过，我们可以为 Krishna 赚钱，赚很多钱，然后为 Krishna 又把这些钱都花掉，所以这没什么坏处。
If we spend it for Krishna, that is the best use of money.
如果我们为 Krishna 花钱，这是对金钱的最好的用途。
So devotees should not be miserly. They should not mind to spend for Krishna.
奉献者不应该吝啬、斤斤计较，他们应该愿意为 Krishna 花钱。
We will not like to spend for ourselves. We will hesitate to spend for ourselves, but we won't hesitate to spend for Krishna.
我们为自己花钱的时候可能会犹豫不决，但是当我们为 Krishna 花钱的时候，我们会毫不犹豫的为 Krishna 花钱。Next one. 听说10月份开始有越来越多的吉祥节日，期待得到 Guru 的指导，如何更好的灵性进步和做到服务。真敬拜 Guru 奉献者。I heard that during October there are a lot of auspicious festival. I expect to get instruction from guidance from Guru how to make spiritual progress and to do service better service.
Yes, well, we celebrate all the festivals. That's important for us. Devotee likes to celebrate the festivals. We should always celebrate the different festivals, like Janmastami and Ramnami, Gaurpurnima, Nrsimha Chaturasi, different appearances of the Lord's incarnations. We like to celebrate these occasions.
我们应该庆祝所有的节日，这个很重要。就是奉献者都喜欢庆祝不同的节日，比如说 Janmastami， 就 Rama 的显节日，Gauranga 的显节日，还有Nrsimha的显节日，还有不同化身的显节日。
And by celebrating these festivals, we develop more devotion for the Supreme Lord.
通过庆祝不同的节日，我们就可以发展出对至尊主的奉爱。
Okay.
下一个 Krishna Kumar， 奉献者生活中遇到难题，如何区分是业报的持续还是 Krishna 的仁慈进化？比如说和家人的这种你成熟的业报关系会有改变吗？There are difficulty problem in devotee's life. How to distinguish it is the continuation of their karma or it is mercy from Krishna to purify us. For example, our relationship with our family member, the material karmic relationship with family member, will it change?
Yes, well, certainly it can change. The question is, how much have you surrendered to Krishna? You know, when we come to Krishna consciousness, we should fully commit ourselves to Krishna. And so that, if there's a full commitment to Krishna, then whatever happens to us is not karma anymore. It's Krishna's arrangement.
是的，这个关系跟家人的关系是可以改变的。但是问题的关键在于我们自己有多么我们对 Krishna 的臣服程度，我们对 Krishna 有没有全心全意的向 Krishna 承诺呢？臣服 Krishna。如果我们对 Krishna 是全盘的交给 Krishna 的话，那么在我们身上发生的就不是业报了，那么就是 Krishna 的安排了。
So we have...
Next one?
Yes?
下一个是comment from Yuna. Thank you for this flow of nectar. Krishna Kumar. 刚才又读了一遍阿扎米尔奉献者的仁慈拯救，回到当下又不自觉地为青春期的孩子焦虑。请问 Guru， 我该如何把读经典的觉知转化到生活中 ？Just now I have read the story of Jamil. So at the present moment, in my practical life, I will become very worried for my child who is in their 10, because my children, I will become unconsciously worried for my child. So how can I apply this consciousness in the scripture to change it, to apply it to my practical life?
Well, simply by chanting Hare Krishna and by simply engaging in devotional service, we'll learn to depend more on Krishna. We're not the supreme controller. We have to surrender and see what is Krishna's plan.
只是简单的念诵 Hare Krishna， 从事奉献服务，完全的依靠 Krishna。我们不是控制者，我们要臣服 Krishna， 我们要看 Krishna 的计划是什么。
Naturally, you want the best for your children. That's natural. Being a mother, you think about the welfare of your child. But we have to also understand that your children are individual living entities and they have independence. They can choose for themselves what they're going to do and how they're going to live in their life.
作为有孩子的母亲，您肯定自然而然的会为孩子的福祉着想。可是您的孩子他是个体灵魂，他也有自己的独立意志，他可以自己做选择。他选择人生怎么做什么，如何去做。
So you do your duty up to a certain point, but at a certain point then they're independent. They do what they want. So then you have no more control over the matter.
那你只是履行你的职责就好了。到了一定的人生阶段呢，孩子长大他就独立了，他就会按照他的喜好来做事。那时候你是无法控制他的。
So you have to be thankful that you've tried your best, you did your best, you did your duty, and you pray for the best for them in the future.
所以你应当怀着感恩之心，你尽自己的最大努力，然后你为他的福祉祈祷，你为他的未来祈祷。
Okay. Yes? Finished?
Yes, finished.
Okay. Well, Hare Krishna. Mama Ganshia Guru Mani, Ki Mama Jantai de Fani, Ganshia Soy de Function the Ling Ting, Mama Jufu Niman Jera Kwaila. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Yay.